Hello, everybody. I'm saying hello because some jackoff came in here and said that saying what's up wasn't professional. And I was like, how professional do you think the trucking industry really is? So, anyway, hello, everybody, instead of what's up. How you doing, Gene Scott? I would say what's up, but I found out I wasn't professional enough by saying what's up. So right now I am at a Love's on US 30, Plymouth, Indiana. I'm picking up tomorrow at 11 p.m. And that's going to be my home load. So that's kind of why there's this much lag between it. But it pays excellent, so that's kind of what's going on here. See if a few more people come in here. Oh, man. Man, I am so looking forward to that bourbon. I know my son's gonna, he always has a little something for me. Last time he kind of let me down a little bit. But it's the thought that counts, except when you're buying some bullshit. He bought me a single malt whiskey. And I was like, what the hell are you thinking? So I had to school him real quick, tell him, don't go off the reservation when you're buying this stuff. Just get what I tell you to get, at least the type, and go from there. So Leah is happy that she's able to shop at Publix. Man, I'm happy that I've been kind of in the matrix. So I've been in that Wisconsin, Minnesota, all that Iowa area. So I've been hitting up them quick trips and quick stars. So I've been able to get some of that good stuff. As a matter of fact, I just finished off a full chicken that was here. I got it a quick star. Humberto, what's up from Louisiana headed to Texas? Man, I just went through that route a little while back. Mr. Mayhem, what's up? So yeah, I'm picking up this load tomorrow let me see how far away I am. I'm 85 miles away. I'm going to drive a little bit closer tomorrow morning, but I pick up at midnight, and that's going to Aurora, Colorado. So that's going to be my home load, and I'm going to be chilling hard. And you know what? If it wasn't for me getting home, trust me, I would have loved, because I know that my next load would have probably been in that same area, but because I need to go home, they, took me out of that box. But I think my next load would have probably been going to Wisconsin or some shit, and I might have stayed up there. So yeah, that's shit. See if a few more people come in here. Hold on. All right, Tina, what's up? So anyway, that's what's going on. So anyway, people are talking about the freight market, all this kind of stuff. What's going on? And I'm gonna say that these last 2 weeks has almost been too busy, if you could actually say that. And I'm not saying that there's more money out there to be made or anything like that yet, but what's been happening is I'm not trying to become a big YouTuber. I'd be posting some videos or actually kind of putting some effort into it. But with these loads, they've been trying to put such tight loads on me lately that I've had to turn some down. Just like I just couldn't get there. I couldn't do it. So that's kind of what's been going on. So I do see it. Listen, I've never complained about the money ever. So it's always been there, but I do think that things are starting to loosen up a little bit more. So that is a good sign. Actually, to be honest with you, I've been running harder than I'd like. Maybe these last 6 days. So that's what's up. I'm probably going to go home. I'm going to tell them I'm going to take 3 weeks off. I'm not sure if I'm going to take 3 weeks off because if you think about it, every week is costing me $3,300, something like that. So if I just go home, don't do nothing, that's $3,300 a week. So that's costing me $10,000 for 3 weeks. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. I am going to stay out over Thanksgiving, but I'm definitely going to take off a bunch of time for Christmas. Andrea, my wife, what's up? All right. In regards to maybe becoming a big YouTuber one day, my other channel, I would say, was a pretty mid-level channel. I think even to this day, it might have 53,000 on it. And I would, when I shut that channel, well, it's still going, but basically when I quit that channel, it was making some good money before I left. Go check out No Hippie Barbecue and Cooking. That's what that channel was. Especially for Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't know how to cook a proper Thanksgiving turkey, run over to that channel and type in No Hippie Barbecue Thanksgiving Turkey. That'll tell you how to make a good turkey. And I'm sure that at least one or two of those videos got well over 1 million views at this point. All right. Rich, what am I mixed with? You got to have some Caribbean in you. Man, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but mixed with something. I don't think it's Caribbean. Yeah, like that's my mom right there. There goes me and my sweetie. Shit, I thought I had some more pictures in here. So anyway, enough about that. Let's see. Which one is it better to become, a PSD or a TNT trainer? It depends on if you are a lease operator, a company driver, or you are so a lot of people misconstrued a regular lease at Prime with a lease purchase. So two distinct differences. So if you are a company driver, I would say that PSD is best. If you're a regular lease driver, I would say TNT is best. If you own your truck doing an actual lease purchase, I would say PSD is best because you're not racking up a ton of miles on your truck. I think people that have lease purchase trucks that run TNT training constantly are devaluing their truck almost to the same degree that the money they're making. Not quite as much, but close. Slime Pack, what's up? Would you recommend? All right. So, Rich, would you recommend Prime to someone wanting to get into trucking, brand new driver? Absolutely, I would. But a lot of that's going to be a crapshoot. A lot of that's going to depend on your trainer. I had a crappy trainer to begin with. My trainer was horrible, the first one. But the second one was awesome. As a matter of fact, when he came back to trucking, I technically trained him, even though he didn't need it. But I think Prime's a good route to go. Ed, what's going on? Ed is one of my boys I talked to out here on the road. Met him out in where I'm delivering in a few days out in Colorado. He just completed his lease. He's gonna pocket 15, 18 grand, something like that. And his next truck is just sitting out there at the terminal. So he'll be picking that up. All right, let's see. You know, just somebody was asking what, that's grandpops right there back in the days. Hold on just a second. Oh, hold on a second. As a matter of fact, this was another YouTube guy giving me a call. Let me call him back real quick. See what he has to say. $412, what's up? Another guy I be talking to on the phone all the time.
What's up, brother?
Nothing, I'm on live right now. If your connection was a little bit better, I would actually have you on this live so you could talk about why your knuckles were so ashy in the video that you posted.
Hey, I think that was just the mixing of the sun, you know what I'm saying?
All right, man, let me get off here. But them knuckles were ashy enough to make me proud.
All right, I'm gonna go check your live out here.
All right, man. That was Shamarcus. Go check out his channel. He just paid off his third truck. So he's definitely rolling in that dough right now. So let me go back. Slime Pack, obviously, what's up? Ed, what's going on? We already spoke about that. Trent, 412. God damn. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up?
What's up?
Who is this?
No. Who is it? Come up.
All right, well,
Come up.
he can get on live when I'm back at home, but I gotta get off now because I can't bear. Nobody can hear him.
Okay. There. Love you, Papa. Love you, Papa.
All right, love you too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was my wife and grandkid calling. All right, so let's see. Does someone who does a lease purchase take the truck to Landstar or Mercer? Can somebody? Yes, you can. As long as they make the payment. But if the truck is paid off, which is the ultimate goal, then you can do whatever you want with it. But yes, you can take it there if they make the payment to Prime. All right, 412, what's up? Seen a video yesterday. Somebody was breaking down Prime's fuel discount, and they were saying that Prime's getting over because they only pay y'all raw diesel prices pre-IFTA. That's the dumbest shit ever. What happens is we pay the full amount, or we pay the discounted price plus IFTA, and then the IFTA gets balanced out depending on where we're driving and all that. Somebody needs to shut the fuck up. There's too many people out there who don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, like I kept saying, there's too many failures out here trying to act like they know what they're doing. And the odd part about it is you have people actually following these idiots, you know, and I'm not even going to get into that. Anyway. All right, Range, FLA. Thoughts on dirty trucking. Man, I'm going to tell you what. That hurts me right there to watch that. If I lived in Michigan or Detroit area, I'm not sure I'd give her no dough. I mean, I've donated a little bit of money, but I'd at least give her a little something. You know, a little food or something. But she's literally, you know, like, I think she's clinically crazy, so I don't really fault her for some of the stuff she does. Like, she really could be on government disability for mental shit, you know what I mean? All right, little dude from 63rd, I think Richie Rich has something against Prime Inc. He's always talking bad about them. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is there's a bunch of people at Prime with titles that are doing well. People without titles. As a matter of fact, what's my boy Ed up in here? Go check out him. Ed, he just sent something in there. Fuck, he's in a regular lease, making money. You know, so this is like anything. And it's really what you want in a business. If you're in a business where everybody succeeds, that's not a good business. You want to be in a business where there's a failure rate. Because if everybody succeeds, people aren't going to be able to really prosper. So, you know what? Some people got to take one for the cause. And maybe that's part of it. Anakin Moon, what's up, man? The only thing anybody can do for her is give her a ride so she can be committed. You know what? That's a sad situation. George, Rich has many videos of him talking highly on Prime also. If you went back to all those videos and watched them in sequence from the beginning, you would actually see kind of what happened in that. I'm not going to go rehash all these videos or anything, but if you were curious as to why it actually happened, just watch from the very beginning when he went to Prime to when he left and kind of what happened after that. Why am I only attracted to toxic relationships, and why can't I find a real one? I'm not sure about that one. All right, so in regards to dirty trucking, she believes someone is out to get her. Listen, she actually has mental problems. So like I said, I'm not faulting her for that. Who I fault are these idiots that make videos about her. Like this, whatever the guy's name is. My boy 412 could mention his name in here because he's about as fucked up as her, damn near. And then you got this lockout men. Listen, making fun of her is like teasing a fucking 12-year-old retarded kid and thinking that's cool. So I grade her on a curve as far as that goes because she's got legitimate problems. And I do believe she was a good truck driver. I don't think she was a good lease operator. And I think that she thought being a lease operator was more than it should have been. But I do believe, which is why she got fired, was she was very detail oriented on some of this like hazmat shit. And she got fired because she called a company out on some shit. And they probably had enough of it. So I don't doubt that she was a good truck driver as far as driving the truck. I don't think she was a good lease operator because she was over entitled in regards to that, which a lot of lease operators are. And her personality is the opposite of mine. I'm trying to create cohesive environments and all that kind of shit. And she was always about the friction. Yeah, more life. That's another motherfucker. Listen, he's like one step above her. Like, Taji Woods going hard on Prime. That's another one. First of all, I believe you have to have accomplished some shit before you start doing that. She hasn't done shit. And I think she's one of these channels out here that's trying to build their shit on somebody else's back. I mean, she hasn't done shit. Like, what the fuck has she done? She's out here making mediocre pay, doing mediocre shit, and she's going to be talking shit about somebody else? I bet her $1 million paycheck to paycheck if she wants to throw that up. She wants to act like she's doing all that well. I'll do that for her. Not everybody, for her. And as far as this other situation, this trucker coach thing, I have no issues with Hirschbach. I believe Hirschbach is a great place to work. If you do not plan on completing a lease, Hirschbach might be a good way to go. Get you one of them high-mile trucks out there, lease that shit for $800 a week, make your money, do whatever. No problem with that. The thing is, Prime is, if you're in a regular lease, and I think a lot of people, even at Prime, you have fucking truck drivers at Prime that throw around. Richie Rich was one. that throws around lease purchase like it's fucking the same thing. Lease purchase is not the same. Like, there are very few people at Prime doing an actual lease purchase. Let's get that clear. You can identify them with the 2 as the beginning of their truck number. So a lot of people misconstrued those 2 things. So people throw around this lease purchase, even at Prime, that have no idea the difference. But fuck, what was my point? Oh, my point is Prime leases are meant to be completed. If you don't complete a lease, maybe you're better off going to Hirschbach and taking some cheap ass lease and doing that. But if you complete a Prime lease, which is what it's meant to be done, then you're going to get that. Ed is in here. He's probably going to get 15, 18,000, whatever, on his lease completion bonus. But listen, Coach, the only thing we have in common is that we were both Marines, and sometimes he's a little too soft for me. I don't know. Maybe it's the millennial come out in him. I don't know. But not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. Coach went, oh my God, him? All right. Coach and this other dude, this R.E. Garrison, they're out here hitting them referrals so fun. Like, listen, I would not have a problem with me or Marcus or Driveline or anybody that's been at Prime for a while and they've like stuck through this shit. If I was to say, if you want to come to Prime, use my referral code, blah, blah, I don't have an issue with that shit because we've actually lived that shit. But these motherfuckers are pushing this referral shit and they have not even got their feet wet in the company yet. So that's unethical. That shit, at least be at a company 6 months before you start pushing referrals and all this kind of stuff. And don't be like, well, I worked here 6 months before I quit. You got to start that shit back over. That shit right there. And it's so obvious. Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about it. One is just dumb and the other one's stupid. Ugh. Anyway. George, he definitely wants that referral money, both of them. I was on her live, Dirty Trucking, people asking her Cash App to donate, and she's not giving. Yeah, okay, so I was on that live too, and she kept talking, and people were like, "What's your Cash App? What's your Cash App?" And she was too busy running her mouth to actually. I feel sorry for Dirty Trucking. I do. Like, first of all, she should be monetizing her videos. Because if there's one channel, and I'm going to tell you this, out of all the channels on YouTube, all the excellent ones, Slime Pack, like even people in my barbecue shit that I'm personal friends with, whatever, there are very few channels that I can say I've watched every one of their videos. And Dirty Trucking, I've watched every single one of her videos. That's how compelling she is. And she should be like monetized to something. I mean, she should be making some kind of money on it. And I did give her a little bit of money back in the day, but at some point it's like I got enough problems on my own before I got to keep donating to her. All right, warning, I'm on my way over, man. You got that weed or what? No, I probably know somebody who can get it for you, though. One thing for sure is everybody has Prime in their work or in their mouth. Most haven't worked there. Absolutely. I worked at Prime. It was cool. Just wanted a little more, but Prime is solid. And here's the thing. I'm just wondering what the little more is about. At my age, I look at it a little bit different. I'll be 57 here in a few days. And it's like, how much more money do I need? You know, it's like, you know, when I had a truck payment, it was like 20, let's say 2,000 to 2,500. Without a truck payment is 3,000, 3,500 with no headaches whatsoever. So what am I like, why would I leave? I was talking to my man in here earlier, Sean, and he's starting his own authority, doing all that stuff. And I'm just like, the reason I stay at Prime isn't necessarily the money. It's the lack of headaches. I don't got to deal with IFTA. I don't got to worry about like no tolls. I don't got to, like, it's plug and play. Like, that's it. To me, that's worth a minimum $800 a month. So could I make more money elsewhere? Maybe, probably. But at this point in my life, the least amount of headaches is worth more than money to me. All right, Shamarcus, yeah. Hey, go check out Shamarcus Dixon Logistics. He just paid off his third truck at Prime. And the odd thing about it, because people used to crack on me about this. The odd thing about it, he paid off his third truck at Prime, and he's invested less money in lotion than I have. Because if you watched his last video, them knuckles look like he was just out picking cotton yesterday. But hey, check him out. Good business sense, all that shit. Another person at Prime that's out there grinding, doing his thing. He's been in, I don't know if he's been in trucking or Prime for 6 years, but he's outperformed all these gurus, or at least the ones that act like they know what they're doing, in 6 years. And they talk about they've been in trucking 20 years and all this other shit. Super Ego, yeah, you can't even talk to me about Super Ego. All right, it's all good to see everybody calling out Coach in the comments section. He deletes comments too. Man, I don't even want to get further into that because I try to stay out of the negativity, but Jesus Christ. Mac Life is Super Ego flexed at 4,200 miles a week, $2,400. And listen, outside of the time when I was like stupid enough to try to run multiple trucks, I was always, my personal truck was always putting up numbers. There's never been a time at Prime when I could say, you know what, as a solo driver, you should never average less than $2,000 a week, because that's kind of what it's been. And then if you put in the grind and actually pay off that truck in 3 years, now you got 3 years ish where you're basically making $1,200 a week or whatever that truck payment might be before you even wake up in the morning. So that's one thing I can say. No stress about truck payments, money, none of that stuff outside of personal goals and whatever. All right, George, Prime is dialed in almost every department. One thing I can say, and I was talking to 412 about this, because he was saying he doesn't even get enough attention to track it. One thing I can say about Prime, and one thing I'm happy about Prime, is they actually get paid whatever their split is on our detention. Why am I happy about this? They go about that detention vigorously. So, like this week, I'm about to go home. This load I'm picking up tomorrow is going to take me home. It's going to end me about $5,200 for the week. Last week, I had at least let's see, 3, 4 months, 8 hours detention. So let's say that, who knows how much that's going to be because some of it wasn't listed, but they're going after that money. So I know that if the money's there to get got, I'm going to get it. So I could be sitting at home, not working at all, and still get that $400-$600, whatever, come rolling through. So I do like that they got a whole department just for detention. All right, I'll tell you this, Lyle. For me personally, I left Prime and been good ever since. Money went up. Got my own rig. Now I'm making more. Okay. All right, so I'm not saying Prime is the best place. Prime's the best. Prime, you're going to make more money than anywhere else out there. What I'm going to say is this, and it's why I got out of the mortgage business. It's stress. So Prime is low stress. I don't have to deal with anything. So that's one of the main reasons I'm there. Economically, listen, no matter what anybody says, I have not found a better way to purchase a truck than Prime's lease purchase, period. Whether you go to the dealership and buy it on your own, or you go like lease it through Lone Mountain or do whatever. I've not seen a better way to buy a truck, period. So I take that, the low headache, comfort. You know what? I got a terminal right by my house. I don't got to pay for shit. When I deliver this load on Wednesday, I'm going to deliver it, go drive my trailer to the drop yard, drop my trailer, go park my truck in the Bobtail parking lot, shut that little thing off to completely shut my truck off, and I'm done. So those are the reasons I'm at Prime. Not because it's the most money or anything like that. It's the convenience factor, the no headache factor, all that. Thoughts on GameStop? No thoughts on GameStop whatsoever. All right, you call and push your truck value down with First Guard. Went from 104 a week to 54 a week. I've thought about that, but man, who knows if I ever want to drop my truck off in Laredo, Texas with the keys in the ignition. I'm joking, but if something does happen, I don't want them to be like, you're only covered for this. I've thought about it, but at this point, if we're talking about $50 here and there, I'm not really. I may look into it, though. Like, I've been thinking about that for a while. What about buying a truck from Pedigree, no payments until 2026? That's another route also. I might do that on my next one, especially now they got these midget Peterbilts out here with the little short-ass frames. I cannot stand that shit. I might just buy a used one just for that. Maybe a 25 when this truck is up. Running for a few years, I don't know. Prime system is smooth. It's absolutely smooth. Quincy, am I a company or leasing with Prime? I'm leasing with Prime. I did a lease purchase and I paid off 2 trucks at Prime. This is the only truck I'm running at Prime right now, but it is paid off, so I don't have any truck payments or anything like that. So it's pretty much $2 a week or something like. I forget what the actual what the actual cost is a week, but it's not enough for me to worry about. And Quincy, that's one thing I can say about Prime. Plenty of people at Prime rocking with paid off trucks. So that's one thing I can say more than any company I've ever heard of. I've heard of a few people at Hirschbach with paid off trucks, but I haven't really heard of a lot of people that have actually completed a lease program and paid off a truck. And I'm not talking about some old raggedy truck with, 500,000 miles on or shit like that. I'm talking about people are paying off trucks at Prime with 300,000, whatever. So a lot of life left in them trucks. Like my truck right now, 370,000 on it. And it's been paid off since, this one's been paid off since January. And I'm just trying to stack some money so when the next truck comes, when they try to kick this one off the fleet, I'll be able to pay off the next one in cash. Even though they won't allow that, I'll have the money there to pay for it. After selling this truck and the money I have set aside. But is there anybody in this chat that actually listens to Trucker Coach? Please let me know. Anybody, or Trucker Todd. Anybody in here. I just want to see one yes. All right, Quincy. Let's see. Quick question. I'm coming to Prime soon. Mind telling me what to expect? Quincy, Prime is a machine, okay? And it's more of a machine now than it is a family atmosphere. Before it was kind of both. So now, fuck all that family bullshit and all that shit everybody's talking. That's not there anymore. But as far as the money goes, I don't think there's an issue with that if you're doing what you need to be doing. Now, I would suggest people go company, get their feet wet, all that kind of stuff, and then potentially go lease or lease purchase or whatever, but all right, so George is saying that Trucker Coach is the definition of success, and I'm taking that as a joke right there. Well, I know he's joking about that. Trucking's probably the easiest shit I could even think of. The problem is too many people try to outgrow themselves. Like, fuck, I can even say me to some degree. But that was me trying to duplicate myself over, a number of different trucks. But in general, people are always trying to be like, even like when I first thought about getting in trucking, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get my own authority, do this, that, whatever. Just slow the fuck down. That's it. Slow down. This is the easiest shit in the world. Just let it come to you. And all right, let's see. What credit? All right, hold on. God damn it. What credit score is needed to get a truck from Pedigree? I don't know about that, to be honest with you. That's what I said. I want to be first company driver, work my way up. A lot of the main reason I would say to become a company driver first is drivers make a lot of mistakes when they're first out there driving. And those mistakes, even though they may not be that big, are usually expensive. So being a company driver kind of insulates you from that. So that's the main reason I say that. I spent forever in training, so my biggest regret wasn't going lease purchase right out the bat. If I had to do over again, I would have came out of training, paid the 14 grand, and done a lease purchase right then. All right, 412. My daughter found a kitten. She called me on the road, asked me to keep it. I said, yeah, well, there you go. Cats are cool. At least you don't got to worry about them. Cats are independent. You don't got to worry about that shit. Have you ever trained anyone? I've trained about, let me see, I trained 1, 2, 6 people. And I'm done training. Shit, I just trained I trained the guy last that trained me because he got out of trucking for a while and they made him go through it again. And that wasn't even like training, and that wore me out. So I can't do that again. A lot of people are like, don't think that when you get older, man, when you get to be when you're in your like late 50s, shit doesn't hit the same. Like you feel shit more than you would when you're younger. You get tired faster. You don't want to do shit. Man, I'm just telling you. I can't do it now. Man, if the cat got fleas, get rid of the fleas and keep the damn cat. It's not that hard, bro. All right, authentically chasing ins. Talking about making mistakes all the time, and they've been costing me nothing major, but still set back a couple $1,000. Man, listen, everybody's done some wild shit out here, right? Whether it costs some money or not. I don't care what man. Now, it may not go as far as making a U-turn on the, turnpike, but if you've been driving a while, you've done some crazy shit. Some of that shit you might have had to pay for. Some of the shit you might not have had to, but there's no perfect truck drivers out here. All right. Range, jumped into leasing, then saved up and bought my own rig. Now owning everything, rig, reefer, trailer. Yeah, I could have done the lease purchase at Prime straight out the box, but I'm a little conservative when it comes to that shit. All right, Andrea's talking about getting a fucking kitten. Fuck no. We got a perfectly good dog. That's it. Can't believe you brought that shit up. I need all the knowledge from the IG trucker, basically keeping a beam with me. Yep. $412, I don't know about that predatory leasing and all that kind of stuff. One thing I know that I don't know, it could maybe affect the regular lease at Prime, but nobody could look at the actual lease purchase at Prime and think that that's predatory. Nobody can look at that and say that. George Lyle got Coach on speed dial. Hey, Coach should have me on speed dial so I can give his ass some advice, because this shit's like becoming ridiculous. All right, 412, you don't got to know anything about a damn cat. All you got to do is give a cat a litter box and some food. He'll figure it out. I remember my first solo load. I picked it up at the terminal in Springfield and took it to I can't remember where. I took it to Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's the revenue on a monthly basis at Prime? I guess that would depend on who you're talking to. So I would probably say average, probably 45 to 55, but that's after the split. So that 45 or 55 would be, it's actually more revenue than that. That's the revenue to the driver. So if you take, let's just round off to 5. If you make $5,000 in revenue with the truck payment, you're going to bring home $2,200 to $2,600. Without a truck payment, add another $1,200, $1,300 on top of that. All right. Little dude, HMD Trucking wanted me to do a lease purchase, but I declined. I was already making good money company. Absolutely nothing wrong with going company, especially with depending on who you're going company with. I mean, there's a lot of less. Listen, the only reason I went lease to begin with wasn't the money, wasn't any of that kind of stuff. It was the time off. And then people are like, well, you can work, like my boy Romaine, you know, he's like working all these months and months and months. And he's like talking about taking a week off. Listen, as old as I am now, I can't even a week, I'm not even done getting tired being home a week. It's going to take 10 days minimum. And, you know, they aren't having that with no company drivers. I mean, I think the minimum I would take off at a time was 2 weeks. And so, I mean, I think that was the main problem I had with company. Not any, you know, a lot of the shit that company drivers get is a reason to do it. But there's no company driver, and I know my man Romaine, if he's watching this video later, you know, he's talking about how many miles they got and all this stuff at Hellwig. Listen, if you put in that grind at Prime, even if you made less money there during those first 3 years when you paid off the truck, after that truck's paid off, it's in the stratosphere. You can't even compare that shit to each other. Like, it's not even comparable. But that's if you're at a place that has lease purchase and you plan on being there a while. Like, you have to, if you're going to do some of this shit, you actually have to have a long-term view. You can't be like some of these people, I'm going to work here today, work there tomorrow, and do this and do that. You got to, like, actually accomplish some shit. So if you actually put in the grind for 3 years, and I'm just going to say Prime because it's not even a question if that's the best lease purchase. You stay there for 3 years, grind it out. After 3 years, you can't compare. You can't compare it. At least company-wide. Now, you can compare it if you go to Landstar with a paid-off truck or go wherever, but you can't compare the two. Company-wise. No matter how good Romaine's stories are, he's never going to be able to tell you a story about how he made more money than a driver that had a paid-off truck, you know, at Prime. That's not a story he's going to tell. All right, my wife Andrea, she's saying bye-bye. Maybe she'll get on live when I get home. All right. Shit, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to buy my truck I got now. Good to go. What division has the most loads and what makes the most money? Well, as my man Junior Honduras used to say, if you go to Burger King, you ain't gonna, Burger King is known for selling Whoppers. Why are you gonna go to Burger King and be buying like fish fillets and chicken sandwiches? Prime is known for reefer. That's where the money's at. That's what he said. I don't know if that's absolutely 100% true or not, but it makes sense to me. 412 out of 2022 International. Shit, I had a 567 with 10 speed. Blah, blah. I think Lee chasing ends. I run 4 weeks and take 3 weeks off. I still got some shit I want to pay for, so I'm still probably gonna stick with the 5 weeks situation, and then I'll probably take 3 weeks off. But I'm not sure it's always gonna be like that. I did just get my taxes done, so that was good. So I'm going home feeling a little bit better about my situation this time. Super Ego's the best lease purchase yet. Go ahead and knock that one out right there. But all revenue is profit. Don't have a payment, a lot of extra charges. Staying home 3 weeks. Man, I gotta figure out where we're. All right, I kind of lost myself in these comments. But anyway, somebody's asking 412 a question. All right, JVC, all right, he's in my neck of the woods about to post up at Loves and Brush. I hope you're already there, because that place gets packed early. Actually, Brush, maybe not. Brush is off of 76. I'm thinking off, well, no. Which one am I thinking of that gets packed? Anyway, one of them gets packed early. Lenny, what's up? Prime is also known for training. I'm laughing all the way to the bank in the last 5 years. Yeah, Lenny's making all the money out there training, teaming, all that kind of stuff. And I can attest to the fact that the money, if you really, like, if I was like smarter or had more stamina, I would train and be a legacy trainer like Lenny is and just make all the money all the time and just train. Because if you can put up with that shit, the money is fucking crazy. But fuck, I was in the best situation ever. The last run I was on, I was training my old trainer. So there was really no training. His last job was a yard jockey at Walmart, so he could back his fucking ass up. He already knew the system. And even then, when it was getting near the 30,000 miles, I was like, we were both like, let's hurry up and get this shit out of here. So, even under the best circumstances, I'm not sure that I would train again. But if you were all about the money and you could just like put the blinders on and focus on that shit, easily, Lenny could probably easily or make it minimums with the truck payment. With the truck payment, minimum like 4,800, some shit like that. Maybe if it was a bad week or some shit, let's say 3,500, but shit, it's up to like 6, 7, 8 grand. Tell me if I'm lying, Lenny. I don't know. It's like printing money if you could deal with it. All right, so my boy's about to be at the truck stop in 30 minutes. If you can't make it to that truck stop, I think, or if that truck stop is full, the truck stop across the street is usually empty. Yeah, everybody's fleet manager is asking to train right now. I never once pulled a van. All right, he's talking about pulling dry van. No, you're not. Lenny's basically said he's stacking money, and I'm telling you, the money that I was making as a trainer, it was unbelievable fucking money, and it was almost like I just can't do it. I just can't. All right, let's see. Will you be making homosexual hand party again this evening, like yesterday, please? I don't know if I'm gonna go that far or not this evening, but we'll see. All right, anyway, let me get off of here. Take advantage of this sleep while I got it, because I don't pick up till tomorrow, basically 11 p.m. I'm gonna probably drive about 45 miles closer tomorrow morning, and if I can kind of sleep now when I get home, maybe I won't be feeling like I need to sleep as much then. So if I can stack it up now, which maybe I'll try to do. So, Anakin can't sleep with the truck moving. That is some hard shit right there. But when I say I do whatever is necessary to go to sleep, I do whatever is necessary to go to sleep. You know, me and anybody I'm driving with. All right, heading back down the coast, North Carolina. Hit me up. I'll be proud. Man, I'm not sure what time I'll be driving. I'm only gonna drive about 40 miles tomorrow. I might get up like 7, 8, drive down, get about 40 miles closer, because I can only show up at this place. This is what pisses me off. These little raggedy ass shippers. Can arrive 30 minutes before appointment. So I'll probably get about 30 miles away. Get there about 45 minutes, 50 minutes early. See if they got a problem with that. Tiffany W., am I still a trainer? No, I'm not a trainer anymore. Oh my God. George, Terry averaged $2,000 to $2,500 a week. Training, stop the cap. Well, first of all, I can absolutely guarantee. I think I even posted one of my checks because somebody was thinking I was lying before. But hey, Lenny's in here. Lenny trains all the time. I'm telling you, I can't even remember a check less than. I think the lowest check I made when I was training was $3,500, and that was because the truck was in the shop for 3 days or something like that. And so, listen, I don't have a reason to fucking lie about it. I don't care about that. If it was about the money, I'd still keep training. But listen, I don't know who was only making $2,000 to $2,500 a week training, but if they're only making that, then they need to stop training. Absolutely. Like, listen, the minimum to train for me, like the break-even point where I said it's worth it or not worth it or tolerable, was like 4,800. Like if somebody said, Lyle, would you train without knowing what the truck's going to profit or anything like that, I would say the minimum for me to do would be 48. Like if somebody could guarantee me 48, that would be the minimum. Like that's like the minimum. Like I'd still say no, but that'd be the minimum. Tiffany, why did I quit training? Do you know how little this truck is right here? And then I had the best students in the world. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. No matter how good it was, this is too close for people to be staying in for this amount of time. Plus the stress level, not my last guy, because my last guy knew what he was doing. But every time the truck is going backwards, you don't get no sleep. Oh God, it's just it's actually a lot of work and it takes a lot of mental stamina to do this. Oh man, I'm getting flashbacks. But when it's all said and done, you get the satisfaction of knowing that you passed it on to somebody else. So one thing I'm a firm believer of is every driver that drives should at least train one person, because somebody had to deal with their dumb ass at one point. So I know Slime Pack doesn't want to train and all that kind of stuff. I understand that. But somebody had to deal with their ass at one point. Or Romaine the trucker. Somebody had to deal with his ass at one point. And I know he wanted to train. But everybody had to impose theirself on somebody else. And at some point, I just look at it as hypocritical to not be somebody to at least pass that forward. All right, George, yeah, but they only did it because they got the extra money. They wouldn't have done it otherwise. I understand that too. And people never believe me when I say this. I never went into training. I had to get talked into training almost every single time. I did the first one because I said I was going to do it. The second one the first one I got was an orphan from another trainer that they weren't getting along and all this kind of stuff. So I got that guy. So then when I trained him, somebody was like, well, you didn't do like a full thing, so you got to take one from start to finish. So I got guilted into that one. And then so that was that one. Then the next one was somebody that saw me on YouTube, and he kept like asking and asking and asking and asking. And then I was like, all right. So I finally did that one. The next one was picked up from the trainer that was going to get some surgery done and all this other shit. And she did the puppy dog clothes on me, where it was like, she brought the trainee to me and made me feel all guilty in front of him. So I did him. And then I'm missing one up in there. Then the last one was the guy that trained me, and I just felt like he trained me and he needs me now. So I just did that. It was never a time when I was like, let me go run up the bag. I always had to be talked into it. All right. All right, let's see. The point is, if the extra money wasn't there, nobody would train just to give back. I absolutely disagree because I would have done it. I would have done at least one to pay it back. Now, if I'd have got guilted into the rest of them, I still say I probably would have got guilted into at least one of them. And the last one was no doubt. That guy trained me. So my last student was the guy that trained me. That had nothing to do with money whatsoever. I just did that. So that was not about the money at all. As a matter of fact, there's no amount of money reasonable to trucking that really makes it worth me to want to train. So it can't be about the money because somebody, yes, it's just not the money. Whatever the max is you can make in trucking, still, even if it's a lot, it's still not tempting enough for me to train. There has to be another reason beyond it. Now, the money soothes the pain, but that's not why I do it. Marcus trained 7 people, 5 were orphans. I'm retired now. The orphans were the best ones, man. Well, at least my orphan was the best one. Like, we never, as a matter of fact, let me show you him. You would never look at us two and be like, those guys would have got along. But I don't know why him and his last trainer didn't get along or anything like that. You know, they probably, on paper, which is the bullshit that Prime tries to do, we're going to take this little personality test. There is no way that you would say that guy and me would have done better than the guy that first trained him in me. And never fucking raised, perfect, easy, all that kind of stuff. Still talk to him to this day. Well, not a lot, but we still talk every now and again. And when I first got him, every time he made a mistake, he was like over apologizing for shit. Oh shit, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to do that, this, that. I was like, listen, you're in training. I'm a trainer. You're gonna make mistakes. If you weren't gonna make any mistakes, you wouldn't need to be trained. Chill the fuck out. All right, well, shit, I'm about to get off here. The only thing I got to say before I get off here is, Shamarcus, get you some lotion. Rub that shit in real quick, because, hey, go check out Shamarcus. Go check out his channel, Shamarcus Dixon Logistics. Prime driver, just paid off his 3rd truck, and still didn't have enough money to put some lotion on them knuckles, boy, because they were, like, flaking in the last video he did. Like, my knuckles usually are like that, but he was killing it in the last one. So go check out his channel. And I'm about to rise up out of here, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by. No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm out.